to be introducing IPG. We've had the luxury of working with Brian and Johan over the last few years. When we were first launching Venture University, we were first looking for a space in San Francisco, and the work that we worked on with Johan for finding the space was amazing. Got us a great spot right near the Transamerica building, and probably one of the few locations of all of San Francisco that has an outdoor deck, which is really hard to find. And then about a year later, when we were looking to get an office in New York, we went back to Johan and his team to find our New York office, which we now have. And as we've kind of progressed through COVID times, where there's a lot of uncertainty and things that people don't exactly know what you can do for negotiating better deals, how do you deal with if you're subleasing or leasing locations, what the situation is when times like this get tough. And they've been an amazing resource for us. And I couldn't imagine working with anyone better than Brian and Johan. So really glad when they told us that they were organizing this webinar to help entrepreneurs think through getting space and kind of understanding how to deal with landlords and opportunities that you can have during times like this. This was a great opportunity to kind of work together for putting something like this together. So we'll pass it over to Brian and Johan. And thank you guys so much for organizing this.
Skylar, thank you much for that great introduction. Again, I'm Brian Klepacki with IPG. I've been doing tenant representation in commercial real estate for about 20 years now. I also have my partner here, Johan Key, who is going to lead us off.
Hey, thanks, Brian. Yeah, I've been in commercial real estate for 7 years now. And the whole purpose of this webinar is to give you a brief overview of leasing commercial space. With the leasing process, there's 4 main steps. The first one is the discovery phase. We're going to take an X-ray of your company to determine the best type of space that fits your business. That could be an office, warehouse, or a flex space. After we determine that type of space you need for your business, we'll begin the research phase. That is our boots in the ground approach. We're going to research every type of space that fits your requirement based on size, location, amenities, your head count, your projected head count down the road. And our goal there is to give you a short list of about 3 options. Brian, do you want to talk about the negotiation phase?
Yeah, so once we determine the space you need, we find you building options, we enter into the negotiation phase where we're negotiating with the landlords to get you the best terms possible. And we typically do focus on a short list of 3 because we're then putting the landlords against each other, and the best deal will reveal itself through those negotiations. When we are finished doing negotiations, the next phase would be to sign a lease and get ready for move-in.
Yeah, with the last stage too, we're also going to pair you up with phone setup, any furniture vendors, insurance, and getting your certificate of occupancy in place. There is a little bit of a checklist that we'll go through with you. Next part is your options. There's a lot of different types of leases out there. There's triple net leases, full service, industrial gross, modified gross. Just give us a call. We can get into the weeds over a phone call, but for the sake of this, there's a lot of leases. A popular lease that we're seeing with a lot of startup companies are subleases. These are generally plug and play. Furniture is included, the term's a bit shorter, and the price is also lower just because you're piggybacking onto an earlier base year. Co-working is also popular too. One downfall of co-working is you're in an open floor plan. There's a complete lack of privacy. These are usually plug and play as well, but they're month to month, so you can get out at any time. And building purchases, which BK is going to touch on.
Yeah, so we wanted to just put that up there as an option. It's usually not the first step you take, but again, it is something that we do for clients when they're established and further down the road with the business. When you want to control your real estate for the foreseeable future, you would own the building. So IPG advantages, we do create leverage. Our main goal here is to become your real estate department, make your life easier, save you time, and let you focus on your business at hand. We're the real estate experts, and we're gonna make sure you're protected and taken care of. We're gonna make a landlord earn your business. versus expect it. If you're negotiating with a landlord direct, then they have you as a captive audience. If we're doing the negotiating for you, they're not sure what you're thinking or what you're going to do, and they have to believe that you have other options you're looking at, and that's when they're going to sharpen their pencil and really get down to terms that will be more favorable to you. We provide flexibility and protection. In a lease doc, there's a lot of nuances, lease language that you may never have heard of, force majeure, for instance, protecting you with how the HVAC is maintained, getting you a termination option if the lease term needs to be long, et cetera, et cetera. So there could be a lot of things that you maybe have never heard of, and we're doing this for all of our clients. And one of the biggest factors is that our services are of no cost to you. So we're transaction based. When a lease gets signed, the landlord's going to pay us a fee. So really, it's a win-win. We're there to help you, protect you, and guide you through the process, and maintain that relationship. So we help you grow as a company, and there is no cost to your business. And then our IPG disadvantages, we believe there are none, and really,
You're incredible.
It'd be hard pressed to find a disadvantage when you don't have to pay for anything. You're getting expert advice. You're having a group of people that know the business, become your real estate department, and look out for your best interests. So yeah, we're here to help you and be a resource. Q&A, if I can start off with
a couple of questions. That just first one I see is, yeah, how long does a lease typically take? How long is the process, how long does the process take to move in?
So what we've seen in a general sense is it takes up to 6 months for negotiation, move-in, review of lease documents, reviewing the space. On average, that's about 6 months. Now that can be shorter if the space is move-in ready or it's a sublease. But we like to always have a longer runway to work with. That way we can do a better job of getting you better terms. If there needs to be any tenant improvements done, which is building the space out to suit your needs, that's going to add some time because there might be permitting to get done. There would be a bid process to get the construction quotes, et cetera, et cetera. But as a rule of thumb, I would say 6 months.
Okay. If I am a startup looking for my first office, what type of financials will a landlord want?
Okay, yeah, great question. So in a normal situation with a company that's been around for a while, a landlord is reviewing the most recent 2 years of tax returns. As a startup, you obviously don't have 2 years of tax returns to show them. So the next best thing would be to find a creative way to securitize the lease. That may be a letter of credit, that may be increasing the security deposit, or another option may be to prepay rent. So we would say negotiate adding 4 to 6 months of prepaid rent and have that burn off over time so that the landlord isn't holding on to it and it's captive money. Another way that landlords protect themselves is to get a personal guarantee. We try and avoid those because that's you personally signing for the lease. And that means that they can then go after your personal assets should anything happen where the business goes out. So that's the one we try and avoid the most. And we'll get as creative as possible to find you another avenue for securing the lease. Another question we have here, Johan, is how long is a typical lease? If a company is going to sign a lease, what are you seeing out there as typical?
Yeah, generally on the short end, it's around 3 years, all the way up to 5 to 7. Usually, landlords require a minimum term of 3 years, but we'll do everything we can to be as flexible as possible. If you need to do a shorter term lease between 11 and 18 months, we'll work hard for a sublease, and those are generally around a year term.
Yeah, good point. I mean, at the end of the day, we're going to do what's right for your company. So if you need short-term space, we'll help get into the right situation to allow for that growth. Next question we have here is, why should I use a broker?
Yeah, good question. Biggest thing, we're going to save you time. We have a boots to the ground approach. We know the market better than anybody. you could totally do our job. It's not rocket science, but it takes a lot of time to sift through all the different options and present you the best one. You have a company to run, you have a staff to manage, so put us in charge and we will save you time and we will find you that best office for you or warehouse. And like BK mentioned, it doesn't cost you anything. We're paid through the landlord. So give us a call.
Yeah, and I'll just add with an anecdote that I like to use. You typically don't do your own dental work or operate on yourself, or if you're in a court of law, you don't represent yourself. You get an attorney, a doctor, or a dentist. So in this instance, why wouldn't you use a real estate professional? And that's what we're here for. We want to help you. We want to make your life easier, and we're going to make sure you're protected in the long term. I think that's it for Q&A.
Yeah, that's it on my end too.
So next steps, simplest thing to do is give us a call. We'll do a discovery call, see where you're at with the company. Maybe you're in rounds of raising funds, raising capital, and you're looking at maybe getting into an office space in 6 to 12 months. There's never a bad time to have a conversation with us to feel things out and see where we can help you. Whether it be from a budgeting standpoint, we can fill you in on how to budget for the office that you plan on occupying. If you're a company with an existing lease, we'd look to review it and then see where we can help you down the road. But ultimately, we're going to review your situation and create a strategy that works best and then execute that strategy.
Hey, thank you, Skylar, for putting this on. We look forward to hearing with you and continuing to work with you. Our contact information is right here. You shoot us a text or a phone call.
Yes, so that's, I'll just chime in. Those are our cell numbers. You can reach myself or Johan at any time with any questions. And Skylar and Jenna, appreciate your time. We look forward to helping everybody in your network. You can share the success story we've had with you and look forward to working with all of you in the future. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great day.